We just got some massive news about the great powers in EU5. We actually find out what the starting 8 great powers are, as well as how exactly a nation can become a great power. So we're going to go into this dev diary here, talking about country ranks, great powers, hegemonies, and we also got a secondary older dev diary that I want to cover quickly. In essence, you have 4 country ranks in EU5. You've got county, which is the lowest rank, duchy, kingdom, empire, and there's actually a secret 5th rank. It's a no-lifer. A no-lifer is basically when you play the game for 10,000 hours, so only few people can attain that. Now, the way that you're going to be leveling up your rank from county to duchy, kingdom, empire, and so on is going to be done with a click once you have the prerequisites. And from what I'm gathering here, the prerequisites are going to be a certain amount of population and a few other things. We'll get into that in a few seconds here. Johan does mention the code supports multiple types of ranks at the same level, so modders could add, in theory, dozens of variants of duchy ranks if they so desire. So basically what he's saying, you can have margraviats, electorates, etc. as unique country ranks. He mentions the default rank is county rank, which all countries default to unless set up to be something else. So for example, Byzantium, despite not having the population required to become an empire, it is an empire from day one because it's the Eastern Roman Empire, right? The first rank above that is the duchy rank. So you go county, duchy. This allows you to guarantee other countries. That means counties cannot guarantee. They cannot proclaim guarantee. That's nice. I like to see that. The restriction of diplomatic actions based on the rank of the country, I feel should be in EU4 as well, because that's a great feature. They also get higher diplomatic capacity and power projection. Countries that start at this level include the Duchy of Brittany or the Duchy of Lithuania. So they can be medium sized like Brittany is, or they can be massive size like Lithuania is, but they're still both duchies. To be able to upgrade from a county to a duchy, you cannot be in any international organization that disallows rank change. Okay. You also need to have 100,000 pops of your primary culture. Yeah, that's going to be tough for some nations that start with a lot of non-primary culture pops. After duchy, you have the kingdom rank, which requires 1 million of your primary culture pop, and it also again increases diplomatic range and gives other abilities, which we're not aware of right now, but some abilities. We'll see them in a few moments actually. This includes Kingdom of Sweden, Sultanate of Delhi. So Sultanate, different name, but it's still a kingdom rank essentially. Finally, we have the empire rank, which is the hardest to promote to, allows a variety of diplomatic actions and other abilities. At the start of the game, there's only one empire in Europe, the Eastern Roman one, so the Byzantines. That makes sense. Okay, so then the HRE emperor is not, his nation is not an empire, I guess. A country must become a great power, so they have to be in the top 8 before they can attain the rank of empire, and there are special restrictions on Catholic countries from pretending to be emperors without the Pope's permission. So you have to ask for the Pope's permission to be an emperor. I feel like there can only be one emperor in Western Europe, right? Because, well, depends. I'm guessing there's gonna be multiple. The French are gonna be one. The Spanish are gonna have one. Kingdom as the tier 3 country rank. It gives power projection +5. Number of artists. What the hell is that? That's new. Diplomatic range, diplomatic capacity, maximum diplomats, great power score, can sign alliances. Ooh. Guarantees, support rebels, threaten war, and can have up to 3 possible rivals. You need to have 1 million of your primary pops, whoever... okay, so this is the Livonians, I would assume, because he mentions the Livonians have about 380 primary pops. Oh my god, that's horrible. They need 1 million. Oh, that's gonna take a while. And they must not be a subject, and they must not have, cannot become kingdom modifier, which I would assume is going to be the case for some nations. Now, the great powers are determined based on the advances, the population, the land area, development, and other factors will play into who is the most powerful in the world. So it's not going to be just development, like I said. It's going to be a variety of things that determines who these great powers are. Essentially, these things add up to your great power score. And based on that score, whichever nation has higher score will end up being in the top 8, I guess, for now. Although Johan did say it's debatable. They could have more than 8 great powers. Let's see how it goes when the game actually gets launched. The starting great powers in EU5 are going to be the Yuan Dynasty. Oh, I cut him out there. My bad. Yuan Dynasty. Kingdom of France, Sultanate of Delhi, Golden Horde. Japanese Shogunate is honestly a very, very surprising one, because I made a video on the great powers of EU5 a while back, a few months ago actually. I made it with the information I had back then, and these are exactly the nations that I said would be a great power. I did not mention the Japanese. I did not expect the Japanese to be in the top 8 great powers, let alone the 5th great power. So that kind of took me by surprise, not gonna lie. Now you notice here the Japanese also do not have any subjects. That's because the daimyos are technically inside the Japanese shogunate. They are extraterritorial nations. They're basically buildings within the nation that own other stuff within the nation. England, of course, the Mamluk Sultanate. If you're interested to know about the historical background of all these nations, the video I made, and I'll link it in the description, talks about the historical setting, why these nations were as big and as powerful as they were in this particular time frame. Highly recommend you check it out. It's a good watch also if you're like taking a big poop and you want to watch something. That's right, I want to be that guy. I want to be your poop guy. That's a little bit weird. I hope you're not watching me do this when you're in the toilet. That would be even weirder. So yeah, Johan says currently there's 8 different countries that are the great powers. This is a design we're not 100% satisfied with, so they might change this before release. They also talked about mechanics for regional powers. I think that would be amazing. Have a regional power as well as a great power system. That would be top notch. I'd love that personally. Curious what you guys think about that actually. And we see here the great power bonuses that you get: power projection +5, diplomatic capacity +1, monthly diplomats, and can enforce peace. In EU5, hegemonies will be unlocked as an advance through the Age of Discovery. So that's the second age. There's 3 types of hegemonies: military, navy, and economic. So exactly like in EU4, but they're thinking about adding a cultural hegemony as well. I'd like to see a cultural hegemony just for variety and to not just be identical to EU4 personally. You have to be a great power. You have to have a massive army, navy, or economy for then all the other great powers. And after you proclaim your hegemony, you get a bonus where most of it scales with how long you've held the hegemony. So exactly same like in EU4, right? The longer you are a hegemony, the bigger the bonus. But take note, once you have proclaimed a hegemony, every other nation around you will get a CB on you. This is what the military hegemony looks like: war exhaustion, war score reduction, war score cost, counter espionage, army attrition, movement speed, great power score, siege ability +10%. That's pretty cool. I like that. Now, a couple of weeks back, they also did a short dev diary about slavery in EU5. So he mentions this is one of the 6 types of pops in EU5, and usage of slaves is going to be primarily in plantations or in just specific buildings. They're going to be cheaper to employ because, you know, they don't get paid. They're used in resource gathering operations primarily, as well as for the Mamluk and the Ottomans. They can be used in the Mamluk or Janissary barracks, so they're going to be slave soldiers. Aside from that, in the New World, they're going to be basically picking sugar, tobacco, cotton, and for some old world nations as well, you can use them as galley slaves. Apparently, galley barracks in Genoa uses slaves because clearly the galleys needed someone to row, and it was not the most sought after profession. Whenever you conquer provinces, you will be able to enslave a part of the population. I guess your nation allows enslaving, right? And you also have for the Barbary states the ability to capture slaves from raiding the coastlines. This is an advance, so essentially a technology you can unlock. There's also slave markets that create slaves and can also give you money out of that, so that's pretty weird. The Mongol states have the ability to directly take slaves when conquering lands, and they create the greatest slave trading network the world has ever seen. You also can build slave centers in foreign locations and acquire your slaves like that. That's a little bit of an iffy one right there. All right, so we have Teriko here asking, will we have nations with smaller populations start as kingdoms? Johan says yes, Kingdom of Navarra being a kingdom. That's accurate because Navarra was a kingdom from like 800 something until its complete integration into the Spanish nation, right? Oh, so we have here the requirements for an empire is going to be 5 million primary culture, and he mentions that power projection impacts if you can colonize areas with lower projection and if you can build buildings in their territory. Ooh, oh, that opens up a huge can of worms that I'm actually on board with. Shouldn't be so surprising. Actually, I think he mentioned this in the past again, something along those lines. He does mention that you will not be able to form a kingdom if you don't have 1 million of your primary culture. I personally don't like this whole system with the primary culture. I think it should be accepted cultures. Because hear me out. Sure, primary culture, I get where you're coming from, but I feel like that's very, very restrictive though. And I'm seeing a lot of people also have an issue with this. I get why. Don't get me wrong, I will definitely assimilate everybody to my culture. You know what I'm saying? You know, you definitely. But I get, you know, that people also want to have playthroughs where they don't assimilate everybody and they want to have multiple cultures that are accepted cultures living together, right? So maybe it should be 1 million of your primary or accepted culture. That would be cool. Just my opinion though. Oh, we see here the great power score of Upper Bavaria. Stability, population, prestige, army, tradition, high legitimacy, embrace institutions, Holy Roman Emperor. Oh my god, the fact that Upper Bavaria as the Holy Roman Emperor gives 250, that is wild. Oh, somebody else noticed the artist, and Johan says, you'll know more about artists in November. You win the prize of being the first one to note it. First one in the comments, sir. Okay? I think everybody noticed. First one to mention it. I hope you guys enjoyed this short one. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.